Morning folks, Jer here on Wednesday the 16th of November with your Leeds news. It's kind of disjointed, there's a little bit of moves, there's a little bit of rumour, a bit of opinion stuff floating around today. It's going to be quiet for the next couple of weeks, but I'm going to start off with a transfer away from Leeds that might actually benefit Leeds financially in some way. Elia Caprile, who was the under-21 goalkeeper at Leeds and is now the goalkeeper at Parisi, could be on the move in January. It is rumoured in Italy that he could be in line for a big move to Napoli after impressing so far this season in Serie B with Parisi. Caprile does have a large sell-on clause in his contract, so if he moves for a decent fee, Leeds could benefit from that. I don't think it'll be a huge fee given that Parisi are Serie B and Napoli are Serie A, but Napoli are very keen on the goalkeeper, and that is according to football agent Mario Giuffredi, who has come out with that this morning. So that sell-on clause might come back pretty quickly. We have to wait and see there. Some news from MOT Leeds, and I wanted to cover this because we get asked this question quite a lot about Noa Lang, who has been rumoured again over the last couple of days to be linked with Leeds in what looks like a £30 million move. I've made my feelings on Noa Lang pretty clear over the last couple of months, but MOT Leeds have done something also. They've said that Leeds should avoid the £30 million player after red flags have emerged. Outside of his anti-Semitic comments, there are other red flags. Lang, who scored 19 goals in 37 appearances last season, had a really good year, but 23-year-old is struggling for game time this year and finding himself on the bench quite a lot. The Belgian under-19 manager said that he's given him a damning review, according to MOT Leeds, that the 23-year-old, and what he said is, I find it quite surprising he's allowed to go to Qatar. He said he hopes that he has a great World Cup for himself, but he did say and describe the player as energy consuming for both colleagues, players and staff. He said the player has caused several issues within the squad and is known for irritating players and irritating staff, which wouldn't go down well. MOT Leeds also did make a very good correlation between the fact, if you look at all the problems Leeds went through at the back end of last season, the squad stayed united and stayed together, which was a huge part of staying up. And a player like Lang going into that mix has the potential to mess things up a little bit, and we just don't need it. You've seen Ronaldo's attitude this week, about it's all about me, it's not about the club. So I think a player like Lang would cause Leeds a lot of problems. I would stay as far away from Noa Lang as we possibly can, but that's just my opinion. I know other people have a different opinion, but that's okay. That's your opinion. Moving on to incomings, and a player who was linked with Leeds quite a while ago did move, but not to Leeds. Matheus Cunha has been linked again with Leeds this morning, and basically what's happening here is Atletico Madrid have found themselves in a little bit of financial trouble due to their poor form in the Champions League and the current economic crisis that's affecting the Spanish clubs severely. And what's happening is they're looking to offload a couple of players, two players that Leeds will know, Matheus Cunha as well as De Paul is also being looked at as a move away from the club. And Leeds has said that they want to sign the striker. About £26 million is the fee in and around that price. But Atletico are in a position where they look like they're going to be forced to sell the player. Manchester United did inquire about the player in the summer, so we'll have to wait and see if they come back in for him as well. But Leeds are apparently in a position where they would like to have the player still, and he's a decent player, Brazilian striker. So moving on to other players linked with Leeds this morning, and Fabiano Parisi, the Empoli left back who has been linked with Leeds multiple times. Empoli have been pretty categoric saying that he's not for sale this season, but they've softened slightly according to Tutto Mercato Web, who have said that the Empoli left back could be made available in January, but only if there's a loan back agreement in place. What they've said is that Empoli would consider a sale, but they would like to have the player back for the remainder of this season and would only consider offloading the player in January should they be able to get him back. Now, the problem with that is that wouldn't solve Leeds' left back position this season, unless Leeds are looking at two, Guerrero and maybe him, or a loan for Guerrero and him at the end of the season. Be interesting to see. And then finally this morning is a pretty short one. Some information on the potential takeover from 49ers Enterprises. Finance expert Dr. Daniel Plumley has insisted that more funding from the 49ers Enterprises will be likely to put aside before they can take a controlling interest in Leeds. He said that US banks have confirmed that moves to secure the £400 million needed for takeover have been made, but he said that there will be more investment needed after that. Now, what he also said was that the 49ers will be keeping an eye and will probably wait till the end of this season at the earliest. The buyout deal isn't until the end of 2024, but that they could do it this season. But that would all depend on whether Leeds survive. Basically what he's saying is that it's a £400 million buyout if Leeds are in the Premier League. If Leeds get relegated to the Championship, you knock £100 million off that price tag, making it £300 million. Price of the pound being quite weak at the moment as well means that if they did make their move now, they might get a better deal, dollar versus pound. But they could wait till the end of the season. We'll have to wait to see on that. I have my own opinions on this. I think we could start seeing some investment from the 49ers as early as January, should Leeds decide to make moves into the transfer market and try and strengthen up the areas that they need to this season to give themselves a bit more breathing room. Still 2 point gap between us and the bottom three. Very little gap. I think it's 3 points between us and ninth. So it's a very tight league this year. Couple of improvements in January at the right time and the right positions could put Leeds in a very safe position very early on in the second half of the season. We'll have to wait and see there. We will be streaming tonight over on the American Leeds podcast, usually between 9:30 and 10 o'clock. I think we will go live. I will put information on the community tab here and we'll share it on Twitter as well. So if you're around tonight and you want to see me, Alex and Michael talk about the weekend's game in a bit more detail and talk about all the other stuff, we might even do some World Cup predictions. Possibly. Michael's looking at it. We'll have to wait and see. But if you're not following the American Leeds podcast, you can pop over to that channel, subscribe to that channel as well, and you'll see our podcasts once a week that we do as a collaboration. So they're enjoyable. They're good. Get involved. Have a chat with us. And that's it, folks. That's it for today. Pretty quiet. I'll see you later on tonight if you're coming to the live stream. And if you're not, I will see you tomorrow morning for some more Leeds news. Bye.